Welcome to Board Ghost, a story broadcast with games as the engine.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, but has it been forever?
We believe you're out there, hungry for stories for shared experiences. We can't see you, can't hear you, yet we will play for you. This night's offering is a continuation of our game of Final Girl. To learn how we make our stories playing the game of Final Girl, go check out our Final Girl Rules Supplement Primer episode. Brett Gillen is the designer of Final Girl. He's a New York-based game designer. You can find the game, I think, on PDF through Drive-Thru RPG right now. So our humble players, myself, John Holt, with us.
Ken Breeze.
I'm Kelsey Dion, here for the first time and glad to be.
So it has been bloody. We are in Queens in the 70s, in a large apartment structure that has its own nuclear reactor to keep the lights going. And there's something up with that nuclear reactor. It is a nuclear consciousness. So far, so bad for Irene, the shy chemistry teacher, who was blasted by scalding coffee machine steam. Also, tough luck for cousin Jack, who was the closeted dancing queen, who got choked to death by the radiation-filled zombie Grip, the fame-seeking DJ.
Now that's a ironic name.
Yep. Grip
that
someone to death.
So our first kid deaths showed up in the last scene when Mark and little Sarah went into the basement to see what that strange glow was about, only for Mark to get atomized in front of Sarah's face.
Yeah, and she ran screaming from that basement.
All right, so that is our setup. We've got a handful of characters left. Carlos the junkie has survived a scene so far. Luckily, you see if he came away unscathed, other than a few scratches and some mind messing. Sarah, same deal. We just said she survived the basement. But we've also got some other players in here. Philip, the hopeful immigrant. Janet, the capitalistic hooker. Artie, the unlucky bus driver. Veronica Lids, the hard-as-nails Avon lady. Eliza, the crotchety great-aunt. And Lenny Adams, the mob-connected teamster. So those are our residents in waiting.
Indeed.
We'll see what happens. All right, so where we left off, who had set the last scene? Oh, so I guess I'm starting a new scene as the killer. We will get us going. After Sarah's story, everybody's on high alert. They don't believe that anybody got killed, but she's a liar.
Yes.
That's kind of she is
a pathological liar.
She tells fibs, and very few people believe her, and so they think that he has been kidnapped, that someone has snatched him, little Mark Kellen.
That's right.
So there is actually sort of an organized neighborhood watch search for the boy.
That's right.
The police have deputized a handful of neighbors to patrol and look in some of the local parks and see if they can find young Mark Kellen. And they've paired them off to do that.
Indeed, they have. And part of our pair is Lenny, the mob-connected teamster. He's very worried about this latest turn. There's been some deaths in the building. A number of deaths at this point, and now the disappearance of a young boy. It's very concerning.
And I do think Janet, because she is actually kind of fond of Mark in a way, would also be hitting the streets in her normal way, but looking for Mark this time. Not the next prospect.
Awesome.
All right, so and it's pretty dark. There's street lights. It's a cool night. You guys are bundled pretty good. There are kind of coffee and cocoa stations. This is actually your second time you're going out tonight. You kind of did a few rounds, reconvene, and you're going out to kind of, everyone was given a portion of a grid, basically a few blocks to check.
Yeah, we asked people if they've seen him, show pictures, just sort of look around. Oh, it's like working double shifts, but we gotta find him. I talked to my friends about it too.
Your friends? What do they know about it?
You know what I'm saying.
Well, I do know a little bit of what you're saying, yeah. But
they say they keep an eye out for the kid. It's just a terrible, terrible thing that happened.
I just can't believe it. That he was a nice kid, you know. His mom didn't really like him, though. I don't think she was mean to him. You think she had a part of this?
Hey, who can say? Sometimes you just get the short end of the stick. You gotta be a man. You don't take it.
Yeah, well, I got the girls keeping an eye out for him, too, but they haven't seen anything, so.
That's sweet of you.
You know, he might be at the park, but that's where he liked to play ball. I don't think we looked hard enough there.
Yeah, all right. I guess we could head back that way.
Maybe he's hiding under the bleachers or something.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm sure we looked, but let's just look again. I don't know.
I think it has something to do with that Sarah. She's the one, Sarah Granger. She's just talking this crazy story. She must have seen something. I think the cops need to talk to her more. And if not the cops, maybe I call some of my friends. They come down here and they talk to her.
Well, couldn't hurt to have both, right? You know?
Nah, my friends don't really get along with cops.
But she hasn't been out of the house since that whole story. I don't know.
Yeah, we can't show her face. She's ashamed of her lies.
Maybe so, but she looked real scared, I tell ya. Well, I don't know. It's cold out. I'm not used to wearing this much clothes. It's starting to get uncomfortable. Let me just take this jacket off. I'm just
Hey,
gonna take this little
you
jacket.
do whatever you feel is necessary,
She
doll.
listens it a little bit, you know, looks around.
I mean, are you working right now?
I'm off the clock. We're doing something important.
Too bad for you. Too bad for me.
Give me a call tomorrow, though. I don't know.
You got it. All right.
Well, where do you think? I mean, did anyone... They looked all over the building, right?
I guess I need some rest. We should get back.
I guess so. It's getting late.
He ain't here.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's hiding out at his friend's house. That's what I'm hoping.
Nah, that kid, he got friends. He's so annoying.
You know, I might go have a word with his mother at some point. I think he ran away. She wasn't treating him right.
Yeah, it's possible, I guess.
It's what I did. I ran away. They didn't treat me right at home either. Now look.
So you guys round the corner and kind of come up on the entrance of the building. It's like it's kind of set back.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm saying, nah, you turned out just fine.
Looking pretty fine still, if you ask me.
Better than fine.
you hear Mark Kellen kind of far off.
Hey, oh,
What?
And
Hey,
hear,
Mark.
Hey, help me! Hey, help me!
hey, Mark, that's you?
Where is he coming from?
It seems
Hey,
like from somewhere
the
like towards
underground.
the building. Help me! Help
That's
me!
him. That's him.
That's him. He must have got locked in a storage
I
closet.
bet he's just downstairs. Let's go.
Help me!
We go downstairs.
Run
You guys
inside.
run inside.
Yeah,
Yep.
of course.
All right.
Follow the voice.
No
The-
wonder that Sarah must have locked him in a closet. That
I bet she's up to something. Yep.
ninny.
The lights just go off in the entire building.
No.
Hey, you got a match?
Where you want to light a cigarette?
Well, I can't see it. It's dark.
Well, you
as
actually
night.
can see. There's like a blue light emanating from down the
No,
hall.
I think the emergency light kicked on.
Oh,
You see, it's the figure of well, actually, what you initially see are these blue footprints kind of burning their way into the carpet of the hallway, approaching you, coming closer.
are you?
And you hear Mark's voice.
What
"Hey,
the
are
hell
you-
is this?
I can't see you. Where are you?
You seeing this, right?
What the hell is this?
It's gonna start to hide a little bit behind this strong man. Yeah.
And that's when I pull out the snub-nosed revolver that I always carry with on myself. You back off!
So the footprints continue towards you, and you actually see like finger
Who's
like,
there?
traces along the hall thing, like sizzling and burning with little blue flames. You hear just all around you. You hear like Mark, like help! I can't see. I can't see.
Get away from me! Get away from us!
Is that you, Mark? This isn't funny anymore. Everyone's worried about you. Come on now.
Don't say anything again. I'll shoot.
Yeah, you just feel pressure all around you, and
I think
So
that's
we're
exactly.
gonna
I
go-
squeezed
we're
off
gonna-
a shot.
the shot going off. You hear like an ear-splitting scream from Mark, like and like a distortion of his voice, and the lights all go on like blindingly bright, and you feel like a hand on either of your shoulders,
Ah!
and it starts to burn.
Ah.
Ooh. Luckily, I shrug off my calfskin jacket, my black leather jacket that I've been wearing, as that sort of is just melting, basically, as I throw it off.
Being rather good at escaping unwanted grasps, managed to spin out of the way and whip around looking behind me to see who could have grabbed me.
So you see, it's actually like a wall of blue fire with multiple arms like reaching out at you, and you feel heat at your back.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph!
All right. So the behind you is yet another wall.
Yeah,
So you're
flames.
with like these burning arms reaching towards you, and
I pull the fire alarm that's next to me. I'm like, ah! Trying to get some water to start spraying out some sprinklers.
all right. You pull the alarm and you hear like klaxons start going off. There's like just steam filling, but it's not really doing much more than getting rid of the residual flames. There's still these walls of heat.
Exactly.
And you're right by Mrs. Havershmar's door. She opens it and is like, "The hell are you doing? Do you know how late it is?" And you both barrel past her and roll out away from this wall of heat. And she stands in the doorway looking back at you like, "What in the hell?" And looks back in the hall as a hand, like a giant burning hand, grabs her and hurls her at you. All right. So how do you get away from this burning old woman?
The old woman is hurled at me. We're in the basement. She lives in a basement apartment. But she lives in such an old apartment that it's one of those where the bathroom and the toilet and the tub are in the kitchen, and you just sort of pull a little, like, almost like a shower curtain around them. And so I throw myself towards this tub that has claw feet. It's super old, pre-war, and like just land in it as like this explosion of fire and burning body singes me, but does not kill me.
You are not so lucky, Janet. You catch the full brunt of this hurled body and are sent tumbling back. And you actually manage to like get up out from under it. And a lot of the heat sort of like was on the other side of it. So you're still like singed and your skin is like bubbling. And you are about to scream when behind you, the Murphy bed that you just smashed into just goes and crushes you.
Killed by my number one trade.
Your Murphy bed.
Murphy bed.
It's that same night. And it's like, Lenny, I think, has like basically been like telling everybody what happened. He's trying to round up more people to go back down there, maybe. Yeah.
Where's everyone gathered?
I think that they're all gathering out front again, sort of outside of the building.
It's like a little mob.
Yeah, exactly. A little mob is gathered out front outside the building. But it's very late at night, probably near midnight or early in the morning, rather.
All right.
And Lenny is sort of like, whatever, sort of leading the charge, I guess, to some degree. But many other people are there as well.
I think I might be Artie, the unlucky bus driver. He's annoyed because he had to work late.
He's
doesn't
just
want to
coming
be up,
back.
But, everybody's out front, so he has to be here too.
And I think Eliza will get in the mix.
Nice. All right, we have our characters. Lenny's saying, I'm telling you, there's somebody down there doing this. I got some shotguns in my apartment. You got some baseball bats. We should all just get our weapons together.
I don't know what these guys are. What the hell's going on here? I get home. I'm trying to go to bed, and I see everyone gathered out front talking about crazy things. I see enough crazy shit on the bus, man.
I'm with you here. So all starts. You remember? All right, Sarah and little Mark were goofing around. She's been telling stories, getting everybody worked up. I don't even know. This is way out of left field. This is silliness. You guys everybody's getting worked up over nothing. There's been some terrible accidents, and I don't know. This isn't everybody's. You're just gonna get yourselves into more trouble.
I'm telling you, I heard that Mark Krenner's voice down there. Sarah, we need to talk to her. Maybe she knows more than she's letting on. Maybe the cops scared her.
That girl, I don't know. I mean, we could bring her out here and ask her, but she gets into trouble. I don't believe a word she says. But that Mark kid, I bet he's around here. He's just hiding in the baseball field. He's done that before.
Well, what did Janet say? Where's she at?
Janet?
Yeah. Where is Janet?
Janet and Mrs. H, they're dead.
What are you talking about?
They're dead in the basement. I'm telling you, there's a killer down there.
Come on, Janet. I was gonna grab a coffee with her tomorrow. Just grab coffee with her.
Well, I hate to
Jesus,
say that
Artie,
she ain't drinking no
seriously?
coffee no more.
It's just a coffee this time.
He's telling us she's passed away, and this is what you're getting into?
I don't believe a word of it.
All right. People have been dying. It's because you guys are getting all worked up, and it's a bunch of silliness. Sarah's putting fibs in people's heads, and you guys are stumbling around, tripping over your own feet. And you said Mrs. H and what idiot thinks you? Were you the one that pulled the fire alarm earlier?
Something's going on down there. Yes, I did pull the fire alarm because there is a breach or something is going on down there. I don't know if we need to get some sort of nuclear physicist out here to fix this, but there is something's going on down there.
What did you see again?
There's a bunch of fire, like a microwave.
Mrs. Havishire, one of her cats probably chewed a wire.
No, there's no cat. There's no cat that blows Miss H across the room enough to break poor Janet's neck.
Janet's really dead? You guys, what?
The only way I survived is by jumping in a tub.
The cops have it all locked down. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to bed. I got worked.
I ain't dead. This is all some kind of crazy misunderstanding.
You're gonna regret this.
I just,
All right, you take the shot. You take the.
Hey, as long as you guys don't make too much noise, do whatever you want. I got to drive a bus in the morning.
So yeah, I think we head in.
Yeah.
Stomp
to my room.
Yeah.
Talking to myself.
Yeah.
Bunch of hoots.
Yeah, you guys check your mail. You get your mail out of the mailboxes. You're sort of still like.
God, it smells in here. They got to do something about this.
Oh yeah, it's worse every year. Someone's cooking something, some of that Indian food. I don't know.
Ah.
All right, Artie. Come on. There's good people. Come on.
You're right. I got to ease up on them. You see the people around here. You see them, they're acting crazy. They're stirring everyone up. It's just a bunch of ghost stories.
But it's not, come on. It's like Lenny and these guys. It's not because from where they are. Everybody's just worked up. You know that.
You're right. But we just need to sleep it off. Tell you what, just need to sleep it off.
And that's when the elevator sort of stops between two floors.
This place is falling apart.
Oh, I tell you what, my bus can barely get down the road, now the elevator.
And nice friendly letters around the elevator say, home of the future, nuclear powered, clean, safe energy.
Tell you what, give me a nuclear powered bus, I'll tell you. Get you around the block.
I mean, I thought we would have stopped using this stuff, as soon as we, I don't know, we should just have all our nuclear stuff aimed at the commies.
That's when you guys start to hear weird whispers, and it's hard to make out what they're saying, but it becomes clear pretty quickly.
The hell?
Sarah.
What'd you say?
Bring Sarah.
What?
Some kind of ventriloquist? What?
No, I don't know. We're probably like, who knows? Somebody's probably yelling down the air shaft.
So the intercom on?
I don't know. Here.
Jam the intercom button?
Yeah.
As you do from the intercom, it's just like, Sarah! I mean, I think the lights start to explode. Just the buttons are starting to shoot out of the console. It's just like everything starts to go haywire. The elevator just starts to drop. I think that's really what's going on there.
Oh, God.
And the elevator then stops basically short before it hits the ground floor. People who are trying to smash the people who are riding it to the ground.
Somehow Artie manages to sort of brace himself in the corner. He's well practiced for bus crash protocol.
True.
He's bounced off a few steering wheels. Pretty sturdy, so he manages to not rattle himself too hard.
Awesome.
Eliza makes use of Artie's ample softness to cushion her own movement.
Yeah, the elevator stops short, basically throwing both of you to the ground. You brace yourselves and or break your fall on someone else's body. Ding! The doors sort of slide open. And you can see that you are in the basement. The communal washer and dryer area, the washroom, as it were, is nearby. And everything down here is just sort of flickering lights. Like, it's all crazy dark. There does seem to be this weird sort of like haze in the air, almost as if there's like been lots of chemical discharges or just like things that were liquid turning into vapor. So there's sort of a vaporous haze. This point, like the voice continues saying, "Bring Sarah."
What? Did that just really happen? Yeah, evacuate the premises.
Yeah, let's get this to the stairs. Come on.
Get off.
As you guys push your way out of the elevator, the doors try and shut on the two of you to try and smash you.
Eliza is not as ample.
Exactly.
And again, is able to sort of scramble out the door pretty quickly and like over the form of
That's
Artie,
right.
the bus driver.
Basically, Artie's solid frame, his bulk, he's like trying to push the doors open. He's like, ah! And Sarah, or rather, Elia is just like putting her feet in his face, climbing over his back, and pops out basically into the basement as the doors shut on Artie and just crush him, basically. And so there's like blood and gore that sort of splits or shoots out, as it were, squirts out all over Eliana.
Bye, Artie. Everybody who has been gathering outside, who, was listening to the stories, some believing, some not, eventually they do rally themselves enough to decide to go inside. But when they enter the main hallway, everybody can't help but notice that the lights are starting to strobe in a strangely rhythmic way they've never seen before. As the people are going down the hallway, they hear a distant, explosive crashing sound as the lights surge and then go totally dark. And that's where the scene starts.
It's time for Philip.
Yeah, and I think it's time for Lenny to be into play again as well. All right, everybody, this is exactly what I was talking about. You just hold on to your weapons here. So there's the electrical surges. Somebody's playing tricks down there.
I think I have something that could deal with this.
What, my burned hair? Lenny, part of his scalp is burned away from where he sort of survived a brush.
No, what you're describing, if this is true, I may have something.
Well, go get it. What do you got? Some holy water or something like that?
I'll need your help. I'll need hands to help me with it.
All right, well, lead the way. I'll help you.
Veronica.
This better not be just some crazy shit.
So we go up to the third floor to Philip's apartment and go inside and...
Oh, man. Oh, it reeks in here.
No, this is traditional food. This is good.
Oh, man.
So he digs into his closet
What is that, a goat?
And pulls out... he's like, I need help with this. And he's
all right. What is it?
Steamer trunk.
So what is it you got? What do you got in here? Some stuff from the war?
So we both pull it out and...
You got some ordnance in here?
No, come on, no. Look, this is... You have to open your mind, okay? Got to understand this.
All right.
What,
like that shit they're smoking in Vietnam?
No, come on, no. Look, Lenny, look. He flips open the steamer trunk and there's like a weird feathered skull thing. And he's like,
what the hell is
this? Should be
this?
enough for at least for most of us. Okay, here, put this on. And he hands you this like skull thing.
Well, do you want me to put this on my head?
And it's got like a feathered mantle, and he starts like affixing it,
hey,
things to you.
Well, I don't. What is this? Is it a costume party now? I don't.
No, it's a.
What is this? What is this shit?
Protective. I don't know the word. It's
Does it protect me from radiation?
It protects from everything you cannot see. That's what it's built for. It's a ghost shield.
I need that chemistry teacher's Geiger counter. That's what we need. Ghost shield? There ain't no ghost there. You think there's a ghost down there?
From what everyone is saying. Look, you saw a little ghost boy from what you said.
Yeah, I did see that.
And did this modern day Guga keep her from being melted in the face?
No, maybe it is. All right. Put the bones on. All right.
All right, and he affixes his own like skull thing.
Wait, why is your skull bigger than mine?
Big brains need big skulls.
Wait, you're trying to say I don't have a big brain over here?
So
stupid or something?
As this slides down over your head, you guys start to see the lights have been strobing kind of on and off and flickering. But now, in your kitchen, you have a few electrical things plugged in. And now the lights flare strongly, and then you hear the things in the kitchen start to like chatter on the countertop and vibrate. And then you hear something crash to the ground in your kitchen. It must have been your coffee pot. And you hear this voice start to fill the room that's like, get out.
Here, one last thing. Take this. And he hands you this like rattly bone club. So we're basically covered in like various bones. Some of them like human and weird, and of like some animals you don't recognize.
What the hell is this? A rib?
No, you just...
Is that a human's rib I'm wearing?
You shake it at the problem, all right? You should be able to see. Look through the skull holes. You should be able to see.
Look through the skull holes? What?
And suddenly the door to the apartment blasts open, and all the cabinet doors also fly open as this electrical energy crackles
I start
around
shaking
the room.
everything. I'm looking through them. I'm looking.
We're equipped. Let's go.
The room is kind of like shaking, and where do you guys go?
Basement. Right?
I think we run out the door, yeah.
Run out the door.
So as you're running down the hallway, you hear this voice echoing behind you that's following you. It's yelling, get out!
No, you get out. This is our home.
And you make your way down?
Yeah, we We can't get out. This thing is trying to scare us off. We are protected now, I tell you.
All right. Okay, Philip. You got your bones here. I got the bones. We got the bones.
So at the end of the hallway where the stairs are that you guys are going to take, you're flying towards it, and then you see this blue figure materialize out of electricity. It fades and then disappears and then fades back into existence.
See, I told you, you'll see.
And it points at both of you.
We are marked. We must fight.
All right, I'm shaking the bones.
No, prepare yourself. It's coming.
So this blast of energy rockets down the hallway and envelops both of you.
The bones save us.
Yeah. Philip sort of gets up and he holds your shoulders too. So we're both like standing upright, like in the face of this thing. And we feel heat coming past us and like screaming wind. And it's like tearing at the feathers that just like fly back. Yeah. And almost like the weight of the cape now and the things we're wearing is dragging us back. We're like trying to hold in the force, but it subsides. I go, you were very brave in the face of this.
I ain't gonna be chased out of my home by no ghosts.
What's next?
So the thing steps towards you guys, and its form is like changing as it walks towards you, and you see it's kind of fluctuating between sort of a small boy and then sort of expanding into a big fat man who looks familiar to you guys, and its voice is speaking in familiar voices, and it pierces your mind. It pierces your mind so much that your ears start bleeding. Your brains are melting.
We're both toast.
Yeah,
You're both toast.
Yeah, describe.
So these voices, they like grow and echo and combine, and you can understand that it's the voices of Mark and Sarah, and they rattle your brain cage so much that the blood starts to pour out of your ears and then brain matter. And your brains have been nuclearized.
Atomized.
Yes, atomized.
At this point, like the police have started cordoning off the block.
Yeah, are they
like,
evacuating the building type shit or?
Yeah, they're trying to like get people out. Some of the residents are like, hey, come on, my cat, what's going on? And
I lived here for 25 years.
And a lot of other people from around the neighborhood are coming up and like rubbernecking. And there's a thrum, like a throb from beneath the building. And there's actually like some government people starting to show up, guys in like white suits with yellow hats with like radiation symbols on them, starting to like glove up and stuff. Yeah, like over walkies, you just hear people saying like, we may have a containment issue with this. It's in a very populous area. This does not seem safe. There's lots of discussions about not good stuff. So yeah, the scene is the
nothing
building
else seems to be contaminated. It's all localized.
Yeah, there's no the counters aren't like every throb like spikes some of their counters, but that's kind of it. So there's a swarm, a busyness. But the building is being emptied. Who are our players?
Sarah.
Oh, Sarah. And her aunt.
Sarah Granger.
Okay. Eliza, the survivor.
And where are you guys at?
Oh, I think we're at our apartment.
We are, but we're being hustled out by Eliza.
Yeah, there's
okay.
Yeah, so like there's like police knocking on the doors.
Yeah.
Like ushering people out of the building.
We can't leave.
Sarah?
We can't.
This is about respecting authority.
Ugh.
You understand?
Don't understand. You don't understand. There's something down there that's killing everyone.
Well, stories aside.
What?
Stories aside, we need to obey law and order.
What?
Okay?
You saw someone die right in front of you.
I'm not sure what I saw. Okay? I'm not sure what I saw.
I know what I saw. I saw Mark killed in front of me by this thing.
And when you mention Mark, you hear his voice say, "Sarah,
what?
You owe me a kiss."
What?
Did you hear that?
Yes, I did hear that. And I think that we need to leave now, Sarah. We need to go.
Then you hear a louder, angrier voice of Artie's, kind of like echoed and far away, saying, "You killed me kinda, Eliza. You killed me kinda."
I did nothing of the sort. I did not do that.
Bring us the girl. It's a cacophony of voices now. And that sometimes it's Janet, sometimes it's Havishire.
Maybe we should leave. Maybe we should leave now.
We need to leave now. We need to grab your school bag. Grab it.
Yes, come down.
Sarah does grab her school stuff, including her switchblade.
Eliza is going to also she's going to grab the cat.
Of course.
And then try to sort of grab Sarah by the arm and drag her towards the door. I'm doing this for your mother. You understand? We need to get you out of here. It doesn't matter what happened earlier. You're not going to die. Not like your mother.
I'm not going to, I need to get out of here. They won't, no. I won't do what they want.
Throw the front door open and start trying to drag Sarah out into the hallway.
As you go into the hallway, the building just waves. It rocks so hard. This is the biggest thrum yet. And you hear the voices going, "Just come down. Bring the girl." And you look down the hall, like further ways, like some bulbs burst and like glass shards go into like a cop's face. You're like, watch that. And the floor starts to like heave and crack beneath you. And yeah, the floor gives way beneath you. And Liza is actually like, her bag catches.
Yeah.
So she's like hanging by the straps of her bag, and she watches her aunt, this woman who's like her surrogate mother, like fall into this pit as a face of blue flame comes up and swallows her whole. The aunt. And then these blue hands start reaching for Sarah, and they take her, and they actually like gently cup her and pull her down. And as they pull her down, like she begins to burn and scream, and like her limbs like start writhing and turning to charcoal as she like wriggles into a little ball and is drawn into the heart of it. And then,
And see.
This is it. We're in the basement. I mean, the remaining characters have grudges. They have reasons to hate what's going on down here, and they really want to stop it. And so they have descended into the depths to find the source of this haunting, of this disturbance, to end it. Because if Carlos has nothing now that his family's dead, and I mean, Veronica is just a tough as nails lady.
whoever you want.
Veronica is ready to fight.
And she obviously needs the building to make her money. She can't like sell her Avon anywhere else.
She can. This is her client base, okay? She's got to fight for them.
But
She's spent many long
years. If you want to
play
Carlos, feel free.
No, you're such a good Carlos. I want you to be Carlos.
Okay.
Carlos the junkie.
How are you guys arrayed? What do you have on? Like, how have you arrayed yourself to come down here to the basement?
So Veronica is definitely wearing her highest SPF rating.
Nice.
You know, it's very dark, ready for any kind of sun absorption. And she has her only real weapon, which is a frying pan.
So she has like zinc oxide on her nose?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Some major sunscreen action happening all over her body.
Well, I like Veronica that she looks almost like an undead creature, that she has zinc oxide all over her entire, all exposed skin now has zinc oxide on it.
Carlos is, first off, he's wearing a flop sweat.
There it is.
He's doing his shuffle. He's letting his emotions and the drive to like do good overpower his like need for a fix right now. And that's pretty at odds. He did, he's wearing his standard like his jacket from Vietnam that he kind of always wears around. He actually though like has grabbed a bag of some like a truncheon kind of like shovel that he's got, and he's got like a machete that he had, and
a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, fire extinguisher. He's kind of geared up, and in the strap, kind of tied to his thing with some thread, is a old bear that he had given Sarah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As he goes, they've kind of like have slipped past the cops.
Yep.
They're gonna deal with this themselves.
I'm not going to stand for my customer base being threatened like this.
Yeah. You got to make an honest living around here.
You know it. I have on the highest anti-radiation rating possible right now. Okay.
Smells real good. It's real strong.
Yeah. It is strong, Carlos. It's strong like me, okay?
Yeah. It's going to be real unsafe. We got to be real careful going down these stairs.
You just watch an expert, okay? You just watch me go. So Veronica's going to hold that frying pan up, and she's going to go down those stairs.
Indeed. As you're going down the stairs, it's like stepping on mud, like they're like melting and bowing. Like it's almost like you're stepping in wax, like it's very weird. They're not solid.
It's like materially compromised.
Yeah, definitely material compromised. Like things are just like sagging and melting. It is very warm down here. You start sweating. Additionally, I mean, the lights are sort of flickering. If there are lights down here, this bluish energy, this fire is sort of outlining a lot of the hallways, the ceilings and the floors. And you sort of come in and it's almost like track lighting, like lighting in like a train or a plane, like that are trying to move you towards the emergency exit. Like the lighting starts to just sort of pulsate to sort of like guide you forward. And you hear Sarah's voice saying, Uncle Carlos.
You hear that?
Uncle Carlos.
She might still be in here.
I don't know, but we're going to find out, aren't we?
All right, come on. Let's do this thing. Let's get Sarah back. Maybe my sister too.
And as you come into the reactor room down the hall, it's almost like nothing is stopping you from getting here. It's almost like you're wanted to be here. You see arrayed around the reactor. It's weird. It's almost like just the circulatory systems of these victims, like they're just free form standing. Like there should be a shell around them, but there isn't. You can definitely tell that there are a number of bodies here, or rather these circulatory systems, they're standing, and they're arrayed around the reactor, which is sort of pulsating. The reactor is like morphed to look like Sarah's face. Like the actual reactor is like the metal has like morphed and changed. And so it looks like her face, her eyes are glowing.
Oh, Jesus is right out of Stars My Destination. This is crazy.
This isn't what I was expecting.
And as the circulatory systems turn around, their like electricity sort of pulsates out of their nervous systems, as it were. Their shells form, and you see silhouettes of your neighbors. They don't seem to be wearing any clothes. They're just their sort of naked bodies.
Oh, God, that's my sister.
Oh, this is my territory. Only I can sell things here, and I'm the boss. You need to get out.
And they say, sell it somewhere else, as they just sort of swarm the two of you.
Yeah.
Avon poachers.
Uncle Carlos, join me. Kittens. It seems as if these creatures are more interested in Veronica than they are in Carlos, almost as if like Carlos don't want to hurt Carlos. And so they swarm around Veronica, and she's batting at them with her frying pan. She's able to smash one down, but then they basically just leap on her. And it's the best way to put it is as if like burning bodies are just leaping on her. So she combusts. Her clothes do, her hair does, and finally her skin does as she's sort of crushed to the ground, and her sort of form is immolated and smoking and burning. That the stench is terrible.
Smells like burnt makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, and Carlos, she's like, oh, God, no.
Uncle Carlos.
So that's it, right? We count
We do.
bodies.
Time to count.
We count bodies. 3 for
3.
Ken, 3 for Kelsey, and 3 for John.
All right.
Hey!
How about this? I kind of like the idea. Let's each to give our own ending.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. So are they different? Are there alternate endings?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll since I proposed it, I'll bite the bullet and go first on this
You
one.
go first.
Carlos watches this all go down. The energy is like still throbbing, and like he feels like the building kind of starting to crack around him. And he goes into his like bag and is like digging furiously for his kit. Like he just wants to enter oblivion. He looks up from it, like everything's kind of ignoring him. And he gets like a steel. He like stands taller than we've seen him to date and walks right into the furnace. And the blue light like crackles around him, and he actually like is like smoking, but it can't touch him. It can't get to him. And he like reaches into the thing, and he's like burning and melting and like blistering and boiling and like shaking as he tries to do this. And eventually like, the flame does consume him, but it's almost as if like it doesn't want to. And when it starts to like pull him apart, it's like a green black light starts to form and fill up this blue, so where was once a clean, like pristine, sharp, like blue hot white energy starts to just almost crackle and fester with this like black yellow oozing energy. And as Carlos just ceases to exist, this energy spreads and the blue light is dampened and darkened, and this light diffuses itself and sort of spreads out into the shadows and is gone.
Rewind. Carlos stands, having just watched his companion taken down. The voices are calling, "Uncle Carlos, join me. Join us. We need you." And he breaks. Like he can't handle it. He runs for it. He's back the way he came, trying to get away. These spirits are after him. Blue, white hot light that's lashing him. He feels burned. He feels pursued, and he continues to just run for it. Something smashes into his back, sort of almost like sending him on his way, perhaps trying to grab him. And as he looks over his shoulder, he does see the large, overly large, like giant-sized hand attached to an arm, almost as if all these spirits have turned into this one thing. And he recognizes Sarah's hand and arm.
Because it's sticky.
Yeah, she's sticky-fingered. Exactly. Exactly. But he tears himself away. But the stickiness is sort of left. There's a residue that's left on him and his backpack and maybe some of his gear even possibly because his backpack's sort of ripped open. And he rushes for the exit. The screams of Sarah continue and they get louder and more incessant and more fearful, almost as if like they crave something. Like the energy that's in here, it can't perpetuate itself any longer because it's feeding on this emotion that it's Sarah's emotion. She's an orphan. She needs Carlos. She needs this father figure in her life to continue this, but he escapes and she is unable to get him as he, having lived in the building for so long, knows the secret methods to get out the side sort of doors, the fire doors, and he busts out of the building just as sort of this nuclear energy burns out and starts to implode, and the building starts to fall in on itself. Carlos escapes, but the next day, as he's going for his kit, he sees that all of his stuff, all of his junk, all of his smack is that bluish, whitish color, almost as if it's been affected somehow by the residue that was left on him. And as he shoots up that day, something changes, and his eyes start to glow with that blue light.
And rewind in time. So in this reactor room, Carlos is the last one left standing. And he's staring down this blue light. And he finally realizes that all of the time that he was trying to use drugs to feed some kind of internal hunger, he was wrong. This is what he needed. And he pulls his shirt up a little bit and looks, and that weird dial that they implanted in him in Vietnam when he was a test subject. That strange clock-like thing is actually a Geiger counter that's peaking. And he realizes he has a purpose. He was designed for something. And he looks at this blue light and opens his arms up, and the blue light starts to like throb and condense, and it's fighting back against him, but he's holding his arms open, and he's like, eyes are wild with this sort of the same kind of drug-induced haze that he got on his first heroin hit that he never got again. And he manages to squeeze all this throbbing light down, and it starts to like fly kind of toward him, drift toward him, and it enters his mouth. And he absorbs all of this nuclear energy, and the little Geiger counter that's like built into his body is peaking and peaking and peaking, and then the light fades from the room, and it goes back down, and there's nothing but silence. And then he turns and walks up the stairs into the darkness.
With that, our story ends. We will return again with a new tale to spin to dare to entertain. I was one of your players, John Holt. You can find me on Twitter at Lord Joho and on Instagram at board_ghost. And you can find my media recommendation review podcast at newtousshow.com. And you can find my book club podcast at woundandstab.com. Ken, where can people find you?
You can find me, Ken Breeze, at Burling's Beard, BERLINGS beard.com. I am a concierge DM in the New York City area. Hire me to run your next game.
All right, Kelsey, thanks again for coming on.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on. This was so fun.
This is
Where
great.
where can people find you or your work?
You can find me on my website. It is thearcanelibrary.com, and that's where I have my work up. If you want to pick up a D&D adventure, that's what I've got.
All right. So to learn more about the players and the engine in our story, please visit boardghost.com. If you would like to contribute and help collaborate in making this show, go to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/boardghost, where you can give us a financial contribution that helps us make the show. And that would be very appreciated. If you are not in a place to do that, share the show with people, go to iTunes and leave a review, let people know about the show. The more it's out there, the more exposure we get. You can attempt to pierce the veil and contact us at Board Ghost World on Twitter. Shout out through the ether if you have desires we can fulfill. Leave reviews and comments on iTunes, your preferred listening portal, and take a moment to subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest episodes. We're also on Facebook. I think it's facebook.com/boardghost, where we post the latest episodes. We'd like to thank Pat Couples for our theme song and interlude music. You can find more about Pat at patcouples.tumblr.com or on his band's website, hotelsandhighways.com. If you're not alone in the void, share our stories. The more they are consumed, the truer they become.
Dying, you'll agree with me.